following through the House. Thank you.
The Honourable David Cunliffe.
Mr. Speaker, the member who's just resumed his seat personifies this national government. Instead of logical argument, it's just abuse. Whether you allow it or not, it's just abuse. A government that is mired in distractions, in scandal, in corruption is not too strong a word. While New Zealand lacks a plan that will put more money in the pockets of hard-working Kiwi families, relieve the housing crisis and get New Zealand back to work. Mr. Speaker, let me tell you about the Ministry of Business, Innovation and Employment. What a multi-headed hydra, sir, created by the Prime Minister to give Stephen Joyce a sandpit almost as big as Bill English's. It was divide and rule at work, balancing the lieutenants to give Mr. Joyce an empire, and it's been a miserable, singular failure. Stephen Joyce can micromanage the portrait and landscape on his slide pack, but he can't oversee cost control on a $43,000 street sign. What an embarrassment. What a failure of ministerial responsibility. What a failure of cost management in his department. No surprise, sir, because this is the same department that spent $360,000 on luxury couches for its staff. It's the same department that screwed up the negotiations with Sky City, not helped by the Prime Minister, giving the casino a lucky break, or 2 or 3 or 4. And it screwed up the discussions with MediaWorks, gave them a $43 million suspensory loan. Oh, and what did happen to John Campbell recently when he got a bit uppity with the Prime Minister? I wonder, sir. And they folded for Rio Tinto Zinc, sir, a $15 million roughly bribe to stay in office. That reminds me somewhat of Murray McCully's exploits, building sheep farms in the desert, sir. This is a government mired in scandal, mired in distraction, and without a decent idea about how to effect change in our economy. We face a choice, ladies and gentlemen. The choice is between muddling through, banking on milk powder, earthquake rebuilds, and bits and pieces, or a country that undertakes a proper change program to the future. And to do that, it's got to be high value. It's got to be driven by innovation, science and technology. And today in Select Committee, Minister Joyce showed what a complete waste of space the government's science and technology program is. Sir, the CEO of the McDiarmid Institute, no less, says that the Marsden Fund is a shambles. Only 7% of project bids get through, and the Minister admitted they have no idea of the overhead cost of the 93% that do not. The Prime Minister's Chief Science Advisor, Sir Peter Gluckman, who the government just gave an Order of New Zealand to, said, and I quote, that the system is beset by short-termism, that they have no strategy. And Sean Handy, an eminent professor of physics, co-author of a book with no less than Sir Paul Callaghan, said that's because they have to go cap in hand for co-funding to the dairy industry, because it's the only one that had any money. So the science system reinforces the old economy instead of building the economy of the future. Sir, that is why we've had a budget of broken promises. 7 deficits out of 7, instead of Labor's 9 surpluses out of 9. A growing international deficit as exports go backwards, Mr. Bishop, backwards from 32% of GDP, not to the government's target of 40%, but in this budget, by its own admission, down to 26% from 32%. That is an amazing snatching of defeat from the jaws of the victory of the post-GFC rebound. It's a spectacular failure. Hundreds of billions of dollars of external debt and savings debt. What's the government's solution? Knacker KiwiSaver. Take away the kickstart to fund some PR for beneficiaries that they never believed in the first place. That's the game of this budget. Spin above substance, fiddling while Rome burns, sir. A government without a plan. A government beset by distractions, and a New Zealand that deserves better, sir.
Speaker.
Barbara Kuriger.
Mr Speaker, in the words of Minister Anne Tolley,